On December 7th, 1941, the United States was drawn unwillingly into the conflict that would become known as the Second World War. The Japanese launched a surprise attack on the American naval base at Pearl Harbor in the Hawaiian Islands. Soon, Hitler's Nazi Germany and Mussolini's fascist Italian state would join Japan as our adversaries in a war whose outcome would determine whether freedom could survive on this planet. Toward the end of the war, when at last it seemed that the tide of battle was turning against the dictatorships, a motion picture history of the conflict was begun. No one could foresee then that Germany, Italy, and Japan would, only a generation later, be our staunchest allies. But now, in the midst of that desperate battle for our survival, there was still great anger and hatred for what our enemies had done and what they represented. And those feelings show in the depiction of the Germans, Italians, and Japanese in this history. One of the objectives of the film was to show Americans that their enemies had been committing their heinous crimes long before Pearl Harbor, and the date that would live in infamy.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation, and at the solicitation of Japan, was still in conversation with its government.